Having a wonderful morning. It is almost the end of July. That's going to be on Friday, but my oh my, do we have a very big day in front of us. We got an EU trade deal. We were talking over the weekend or literally on Friday whether or not you were going to get the deal or then we're going to have to play the game till Friday, but now you got the deal over the weekend. It was actually pretty good. What people are talking about it. At one point, we thought we could have had worst case Friday, but now we got the deal over the weekend. It was actually we thought it could have been worst case scenario. Again, a couple of months ago, people thought the EU deal would have been bad, and now this 15% is actually the better scenario. So still a little bit lower than that effective rate of 19, but all in all, you got some good news here. We now have a week of gigantic earnings. This is the big week, and you even get the Fed. So everything we talked about, though, the timeline and how it all leads into the end of summer and September and the Fed, that is all still in play, Chatadonia. So I hope you're ready for all of it. I hope you got a good weekend, and I hope you heard the news, baby. Oh, yeah, we got the farm. But good morning, Chatadonia. How we living? What's up, baby? What up, Mr. Fahar? What up, Murr? Lucky Soldier, Tim Whitman, Dos Nacho, Mustafa, Chris, Raquel. Oh, what's going on, baby? There they are. Brrrr. El Trapado, Zulraz, Ansel, A-Ray, Tyree, Dr. James Cash. Good morning, baby. What up, Mr. Redwords? What up, PNC? Luke, Alien, Sal, NRG, Ivy, EB, Josh, Jacobs, Ingelheimers, man. I got a long term, too. Good morning, Chris Saeed, and hello, UTP. Good morning, Jamal and Blizzy B. Oh, good morning, baby. What, I don't know. That John Jacobs got me hyped. What up, El Coyote? What up, Topher? What up, Carter? Good morning, Najee Wall. Oh, my goodness. So, Chatadonia, I hope y'all feeling blessed, baby. I hope it's a good day. It's a good day to have a good day. And here is Josh AI with the news. Top overnight news, trade tariffs, U.S. and EU strike trade deal, averting bigger trade war with 15% tariff, link, Reuters, FT, Bloomberg. Trump, EU von der Leyen trade deal details hazy, especially on pharmaceuticals and metal tariffs, Bloomberg. Trump says U.S. close to securing trade deal with China, Reuters. Trump's trade deals, U.S. gains, but partners pay a steep price for market access, Axios. Commerce Secretary Lutnick says Trump's tariff deadlines are set, no more extensions, Axios. U.S. eases tech export restrictions to China amid trade talks, aiming for Trump-Xi meeting, FT. Trump administration to reveal semiconductor probe results, potential tariffs loom, Reuters, U.S. execs visit China, coinciding with high-level U.S.-China trade talks in Sweden, Reuters, CNN, corporate, Tesla Inc. $16.5 billion chip deal with Samsung AI chip production in Texas, planned, Axios, Reuters, CNBC, Bloomberg. Meta reportedly revives smartwatch project with camera, launch expected at U.S. MetaConnect conference, Digitimes. Beyond weight loss, GLP-1 drugs show promise for Alzheimer's addiction and more, Axios. Boeing defense workers in St. Louis prepare to strike, reject 20% wage increase offer, Bloomberg. Chinese AI firms unite, building ecosystem amid U.S. chip restrictions, Reuters. EU-U.S. trade deal boosts European automakers' earnings, but tariff concerns remain, Bloomberg. Audi cuts forecast, citing U.S. tariffs and restructuring costs impact on revenue and margin, Reuters. Heineken welcomes EU-U.S. trade deal, weighs tariff mitigation amid consumer worries, Reuters. Roche invests in Alzheimer's prevention, targeting high-risk individuals with experimental medicine, Bloomberg. Markets, Wall Street faces moment of truth amid Fed meeting and big tech earnings, Bloomberg. Trump administration deviates from Treasury's debt practices, hinting at market timing, link. Investors seek protection beyond standard options. S&P 500 index volatility at low levels. Bloomberg. U.S. short sellers face brutal month, losing billions as meme stocks surge. Bloomberg. Hedge funds dump tech stocks as S&P 500 hits record highs. Valuations surge. Yahoo Finance. Meme stock mania returns, creating dilemma for investors. Ride the wave or brace for a pullback. Bloomberg. Goldman Sachs predicts Chinese stocks to rise, anticipating a U.S.-China trade deal. Bloomberg. Economy. CEOs starting to openly talk up workforce reductions to Wall Street, highlighting smaller workforces as a strategic advantage. Link. Trump's tariffs stunt global growth. U.S. protectionism slows investment, rewires supply chains. Bloomberg. Middle-income U.S. consumers accelerate car buying plans amid rising price concerns. New research shows. Axios. China introduces nationwide childcare subsidies to combat falling birth rates, offering incentives to families. Bloomberg. Chinese steel mills see profit recovery boosted by output cuts and government pledges. Bloomberg. UK goods exports hit record low, reflecting Brexit impact and shift to services. FT. London Times. Central banks. White House urges Fed for lower rates as Powell meeting looms. Widening Trump rift. FT. Fed to hold rates steady amid debate. Pressure for cuts builds this fall. Bloomberg. ECB's Casimir says no September rate cut unless economy seriously worsens. Wait and see approach favored. Bloomberg. BOE expected to slow quantitative tightening pace. Economists seek clarity. Reuters. Geopolitics. Japanese PM Ishiba's cabinet approval rating plunges. Takeichi and Koizumi vie for PMs in Nikkei. Reuters. There's no headline on that. There is more. S&P futures, they are up by 0.2 Monday morning, a bit off of pre-market levels, comes after U.S. equities finished higher last week, with the S&P hitting all-time highs in each of the 5 sessions. S&P, Dow, and NASDAQ each gained more than 1%. Big tech and retail favorites among the standouts. Treasuries firmer with a bit of curve steepening. Dollar is up by 0.6, gold is down by 0.2, Bitcoin up by 1.8, and WTI up by 1.8 as well. Trade deal traction, still the high-profile tailwind for stocks, with the U.S. and EU reaching an agreement that features a 15% tariff on EU goods. In addition, U.S. and China reportedly set to extend their tariff truce by another 90 days, while Trump said Washington and Beijing near a deal. Pretty quiet elsewhere. Earnings beat, AI capex, resilient U.S. macro, systematic fund buying, elevated retail impulse, looming corporate buyback resumption, expected Fed rate cuts, and pickup in deal activity. Some of the higher profile talking points on the bull side. Quiet on the U.S. economic calendar this morning with just the Dallas Fed manufacturing for July. Tuesday brings trade balance, wholesale inventories, FHFA house pricing, and S&P Case-Shiller home prices. JOLTS job opening, Conference Board consumer sentiment, ADP private payrolls. First look at Q2 GDP, pending home sales out on Wednesday morning, and then quarterly refunding as well. Wednesday is also bringing July FOMC meeting, Q2 ECI, June personal income, spending, and PCE inflation all come out on Thursday, and then July employment report, ISM manufacturing, construction spending, and University of Michigan sentiment on Friday. You got a big week. This is the peak week of Q2 earnings ahead, with nearly 40% of the S&P set to report, including Microsoft, Meta on July 30th after close, Apple and Amazon July 31st after the close. However, not a lot of corporate news. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos completed a share sale that netted $5.7 billion. Samsung and Tesla announced long-term AI chip manufacturing deal. Bloomberg reported UNP could be in a reaching agreement to acquire NSC as early as this week. RVTY posted lower quality beat and trim full-year guide. Power expects to use Skydance deal closing by August 9th, Reuters reported. And then PD exploring strategic options, including potential sale after receiving takeover interest. Evolve. And you guys know Donald Trump is live right now too. He is with the UK president, so they are talking. We'll put that on if we get through this with enough time. We're kind of early, yeah, so we might be able to. Pre-market movers, Nice is up by 6.2 to acquire Kogini for $955 million. VG is up by 5.7. LNG exports rally after ES-EU trade deal. Nike up 4.1. JP Morgan upgrade. LNG 3.7 exports to US-EU. ASML up 3.7 US-EU trade deal. LRCX up 1.9 in sympathy with Samsung Tesla supply deal. KLAC up on the Tesla Samsung news. AMAT same one. MDB is up by 1.5. BMO Capital initiates outperform. TXN 1.4 Wolf Research upgrade. RKLB 1.3 Craig Halliam initiates hold. Tesla 1.2 16.5 billion bare minimum semiconductor deal with Samsung. AVAV up 1.2 VRT 1.1 William Blair initiates outperform. WRD up 7.5 permits autonomous robo taxi in Shanghai and Saudi Arabia. Zyme up 6.9 FDA clearance of investigational drug application ZW 251. PD up 6.1 TD Cohen upgrade. Pony 6.0 Daiwa initiates buy. WVE up 4.8 Oppenheimer initiates outperform. Next up 4.3 LNG exports rally after US-EU trade deal. NFE 3.8 LNG exports. Mara up 2.8 JP Morgan upgrade. Oklo up 2.8 Daiwa upgrade. CLC up 2.06 top line results phase 3 cohort. CRVO up 57, 32-week data from Rewin LB trial extension phase. AMGH up 36, sale of unsecured convertible notes for $23 million. ENTX up 17, FDA agreement and BND as primary endpoint for registrational phase 3 study. STXS up 16.8, FDA clearance for Magic Sweep catheter. IPHA up 13.3, BTIB initiates buy. DMAC 9.7 insider buy. NA 7.4 increases BNB holding to 128,000 tokens. BTCS up 7.3 surpasses 275 million of Ethereum assets on balance sheet. CMCM up 6.7 to acquire controlling stake of UFactory. QTRX up 6.3 launches novel 205 and 212 assays to advance Alzheimer's research. ELDN up 6.1. UPXI 4.4 common stock agreement 500 million. LIMN up 3.5 to launch American BNB strategy subsidiary target and 500 million fund for BNB investment. That's the Chinese one, right? RVTY is up by 8.1 earnings. Stellantis 3.7 US-EU trade deal. Budweiser down 3.1 Heineken earnings sympathy. Gill down 2.8 DO down 1.9 Heineken earnings sympathy. CMP down 1.4 offering 900 million convertible senior notes. Cisco down 1.2 Evercore downgrade. HCA down 1 Wolf Research downgrade. Albemarle down 5 Guangzhou lithium futures reportedly trade limit down after exchange seeks to curb speculative trades. QS up down 3.5, NXTT down 3.6, ADAP down 46, definitive agreement of Teclera and late sell of Famicell uses cell therapies to U.S. World Meds. Saidu down 45, 7 million share offering. SQNS down 29, acquiring 755 additional Bitcoin for reserve. ATAI down 12.6, phase 2B trial did not meet endpoints. And then SGML down 2.7 on China pausing the speculation with lithium. I think that is it, Habibi. What happened? We have a good and now we have a no good. I thought a trade deal. Habibi. So, Chatadonia, that is all of the news. I want to check here, but yeah, I got a couple of plays. We'll go over those here in a second, but yeah, here is your boy. There was a couple of headlines. You guys post them. So let's see. But I don't. Again, we just had the EU deal, and they were talking favorable on China. And then I heard everybody talking like memes again. But today, this week, it's all about big earnings. So we'll see if the memes actually survive.
We'll be announcing on pharmaceuticals sometime in the very near future. We have a very big plan on pharmaceuticals. We want to bring a lot of the pharmaceuticals back to America, where they should be. If you look at COVID, it sort of taught us a lesson. We were getting our pharmaceuticals from other countries. We almost didn't make any. We used to make them ourselves, and we're going to want to be making a lot of them ourselves, all of them in a sense. But you also have a good pharmaceutical business. We'll be dealing with you on pharmaceuticals also. And we certainly feel a lot better with your country working on pharmaceuticals for America than some of the other countries that were. With the relationship we have, you would not use that as a cudgel. You wouldn't be using it as a block. But we're going to be announcing sometime very soon, I think, pharmaceuticals are our whole thing. And the companies know. And drug prices are going to be coming down very substantially in the U.S., very, very substantially. And that'll happen very soon.
Mr. President, we can all sense your frustration.
No, go ahead. Hold it.
We can all sense your frustration with Vladimir Putin.
Yeah.
Do you think he's been lying to you about his intentions in Ukraine?
Well, I don't want to use the word lying. All I know is we'd have a good talk, and it seemed on, let's say, 3 occasions, it seemed that we were going to have a ceasefire and maybe peace, and you divide it up and you do whatever you have to do, that obviously to get to the end. And all of a sudden, missiles are flying into Kiev and other places. And I say, what's that all about? I spoke to him 3-4 hours ago, and it looked like we were on our way, and then I'd say, forget it, and I'm not going to talk anymore. You know, this has happened on too many occasions, and I don't like it. I don't like it.
You have a successful social media site. There are new powers here to censor your site, state-mandated.
To censor my site?
To censor your site.
You mean Truth?
And
Truth Social?
I mean Truth. Is that okay?
Well, I don't think he's going to censor my site because I say only good things. Will you please uncensor my site?
Yeah, we're not censoring anyone. We've got some measures which are there to protect children, in particular from sites like suicide sites. We've had too many cases in the United Kingdom of young children taking their own lives, and when you look through their social media, they've been accessing sites which talk about suicide and encouraging, if you like, children down that road, and that is what we want to stop. Nothing about censoring free speech. But this country is a proud free speech in this country has been for a very long time. We're very, very proud of it. We will protect it forever. But at the same time, I personally feel very strongly that we should protect our young teenagers, and that's what it usually is, from things like suicide sites. I don't see that as a free speech issue. I see that as a child protection issue.
We actually passed a bill in Congress, headed up by my wife, actually, which was to pull bad stuff out having to do with children, because it is a problem. But I cannot imagine him censoring Truth Social. That's more of a very political, and it's been a very big success.
Not going to happen.
And I only say good things about him and his country, so if they censor me, you're making a mistake. I'm going to give my ambassador the job, make sure it's not censored.
It's not happening.
I had not heard that.
You're a big investor in this area, Mr. President.
Say it?
You're a big investor in this area of Scotland.
To put it mildly. Like this ballroom that we built from scratch.
Do you worry, though, about the risk of increased taxes here? Will that stop investing? And do you have a message last night on the soccer to the English Lionesses who won the European trophy?
So I think that I have a theory that low taxes bring growth. We just passed a big tax cut bill, the biggest bill in the history of our country, actually. And one big, beautiful bill. I used to call it the great one big, beautiful. We took the word great out. But it's actually called the one big, beautiful bill. It's essentially a very large tax cut bill for everybody. And our country's pretty soon, I think I can say it right now, our country has never done better. We had a country that was dead. It was dead 6 months ago, a year ago. Leaders from NATO, we had a very successful meeting at NATO. Your prime minister was there. It was an unbelievable love fest with all of those countries. And they agreed to go 5% and all the things. So very smart to do. But many of the leaders said, essentially, they said, your country was dead 1 year ago. 1 year ago, we had a dead, and we did. We had a dead country. We had a president who didn't know where the hell he was. We had horrible, horrible people running our country. I think they were sick people, actually, sick. You talk about censorship, those are big censors. That's all they did was censor, and they didn't know what to do. And they had high taxes. They wanted more tax, total censorship, transgender for everybody, men playing in women's sports, everything bad they wanted, and they still do. That's what they still do. That's why they're down at 15% or something. I saw it today, the lowest that the other part of the Democrats have ever been. But no, I find that when you lower taxes, you get growth. I will say this area, and the Prime Minister hasn't been here very long, in all fairness. I think he'll be a tax cutter. But I find that as we cut taxes, we did more business. In my first tax bill, we cut taxes from 39% down to 22%. And we ended up at the end of the first year, when it was still a little raw, we ended up taking in much more revenue than we did at 39%. It was pretty amazing. And we're taking in a lot of revenue right now, and this was an additional tax cut. So I find, for whatever it's worth, tax cuts are very good.
Russia moved up the deadline. It's now 10 or 12 days. Is a sanction the same that you're going to slap a 100% tariff on anybody who does business with Russia?
So what I'm doing is we're going to do secondary sanctions unless we make a deal, and we might make a deal. I don't know. You don't know. It's we've done so many peace deals. This is the one I started out with, and I know President Putin called me. He wanted to know if I could help him with Iran. I said, no, I don't need your help with Iran. I need your help with Russia. And so that's the one deal that continues to linger. And we're losing 5,000. They're losing. I'm not losing. You're not losing. But 5,000 Russian and Ukrainian kids a week are dying. And that's not mentioning the people that are dying also in towns where, he's lobbing missiles into certain towns like Kiev. And he's got to make a deal. It's too many people are dying. It's a really bloody war. And the 5 is now, they're really telling me that number is obsolete. It's like 7.
That's terrible.
So you have 7,000 Russian and Ukrainian soldiers dying every single week for no reason whatsoever. So you would think, based on common sense, you would think he'd want to make a deal. We'll find out.
No communication with this publicly. Have you had any other through any channels conversations with the Russians reiterating this?
In what?
Reiterating this new pressure and deadline.
We're going to have you're the press. I'm reiterating it to you. I'd say 10 to 12 days. I'll announce it probably tonight or tomorrow. But there's no reason to wait. If you know what the answer is going to be, why wait? And it would be sanctions and maybe tariffs, secondary tariffs. You know what a secondary tariff is. And look, the Russian economy, I don't want to do that to Russia. I love the Russian people. They're great people. I don't want to do that
OPEC is
to
making
Russia,
headlines right now. Yeah.
Right.
Again, so he's talking shit about Putin.
Russians.
And then OPEC is making comments in the next meeting October 1st.
That's the sons and daughters of Russian families. They leave the house.
I mean,
they
shit,
go
he
buy
just got
mom,
the EU
buy
deal out
dad,
the
and
way.
then they get
Now
blown
all you got
away.
is China for trade,
And
then
Ukrainian too. Look,
I think
look at
Putin will be
Ukraine.
his last sticking point.
Disaster what's happened there. But it continues to go on. As you know, we made a deal where the European Union is essentially
Man, you know what
involved,
keeps
but it's
going
NATO,
on?
and
We live in the greatest country in the world. That's what keeps going on. And we have the greatest people in the world. And I'm talking about the veterans of the United States of America, baby. So I hope you had a good weekend. I'm glad you're here, bro. I'm honored, bro. You know that every time now. I got a giant flagpole. So, but for real, bro, every time I see it, it's hard not to think about how great this country truly is. For real, man, the whole long term and, getting stuff and growing it and building it and turning one thing to another. Bro, this country is amazing. And you're doing it. Again, the American land, bro. Not all these people can say they got a piece of it. So, for real, bro, that's why every single day I'm honored to live here. The fact that we do what we do is because we have this opportunity in this country. And the reality is it wouldn't be here if millions of others, men and women, did not sacrifice for our freedom. That is why every single morning it means a lot, bro. And I hope y'all actually bring this to real life, show this love and appreciation, and use your voice for a good cause. That's why we shout out the veterans, man. Active service, past service, anybody who has served this country, for real. We are in your debt. Thank you for everything you have given already. And now it is your turn to own the land and to own the assets that you have fought and sacrificed so much for. So let us help, but at minimum, we want to help even just by making noise and showing our love and appreciation. So veterans, thank you, thank you, thank you. Even your families, thank you for all of the sacrifice you have given. And big shout out to anybody else out there giving back to their local communities. All the doctors, nurses, teachers, firefighters, police officers, the janitors, the coaches, the garbage men. Everybody making their community run, baby. God bless you and thank you. But ladies and gentlemen, please rise up. Place your right hand over your heart. Say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, baby. Aw. Son of the judge! Oh, it's game time, baby. Aw. Or no! Oh, Chatatonia. Doesn't it feel good to be back? Oh, that's Monday for you, baby. So, Chatatonia, let's have a great one. Let's have a glorious one. It is time. I do have a couple of plays. We'll go over them. We got 4 minutes when we get to the next video. But, yeah, time to go on over to Gen Pop. So, I'll see you there. The veterans, let's go, baby, for real. And if you haven't served, you better start using the power in your speech, my friend, and make some noise, okay? Make some noise for the veterans, man. You know, I see how many submarines I saw them buy this weekend. Oh, don't even get me started. Y'all tripping about a farm? They bought the submarine. Anyways, I love you all. God bless you. If I don't see you, you have a good day, and let's have a good rest of our Monday, baby. And yeah, do you have the link? I think you have the link. All right, I'll see you there.